Really have. The only thing I have is a Kirby bucket jersey.
What I was going to say.
Yeah, he is. Dance at the camera. What up? Hello, friendos. Guess what it is today? We are on, and I'm yelling for no particular reason.
Why are you yelling when you got a microphone,
Because it
Eddie?
is opening day baseball.
Yay!
Woo!
Represent.
I'm the only one not
Where's your
wearing,
twins?
I'm not
No?
the only one not wearing baseball stuff.
Paul's wearing
but-
a Marlins, Mariners.
Looks like the Marlins.
Mariners,
doesn't it?
Marlins
Did you turn the
twins.
mic on?
Yeah, bro. What do you think
He's
I'm
on.
doing?
I'm
Yeah,
on.
yeah, you are new. Today, we do have.
New
so if
guy.
you look at it, if you see us looking up above you, there's on the big screen some baseball games going
There
on.
is.
Just
We're
to have
literally
something
watching
on.
the grass grow
But
right now.
today we have a special guest. He's not a guest anymore because he's the newest
He's not even
addition
that
to our
special
team,
anymore.
Paul Schoolmeisters, and
Hey.
he's here to hang out. We eat some Steve's, not a sponsor of DiMaggio's.
DiMaggio's Pizza down
Yep.
on Main Street.
But
Rogers,
do go
not a
support
sponsor.
your local retailers. That's a great thing.
Someday they're going to give us a free pizza for this.
I doubt it. At
I'll
least,
gladly pay money.
oh, I would.
It's good.
Yeah,
They sell by the slice, by the way.
they do.
If you ever forget
How much?
lunch,
It's like a
It's
buck $1.80
reasonable.
a
It's like-
slice.
$1.80?
and they're bigger slices
Isn't it?
than this.
$2 a
It's
slice.
like $1.25. I get three.
Yeah.
Sometimes it comes
it's
to
less
like,
than $2 a
Yeah.
slice.
I'm
Yeah.
in.
It's huge.
and it's good
huge
from
deal.
11 to 3 or
Yeah.
11 to 2 or something like that.
But you have to just deal with what they have hot and available right there.
Hot and
But
ready.
anyway, newest addition to our team, Paul Schoolmeister, is super excited.
To what team?
If you were here on Sunday, you got to meet him a little bit, him and his family and kids, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But what I'd like to do with a new guest is to do 10 questions, just kind of a little primer to get to know you. And we work this by going from 10 to 1, and each number has something to do with that question specifically. So the number 10 question, and you can eat whatever, watch baseball. Number 10, what was your life like 10 years ago?
Zero preparation. for this.
Zero. Yeah.
He wouldn't give me anything ahead of time.
10 years ago,
10 years ago.
2013?
2013.
That was 10 years ago.
No kids.
But
Yep.
you were married?
I was married,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay.
14 years.
You got a built-in mic holder.
Look at this guy.
Nerd alert, man.
That way we can hear you slobber your pizza.
Pizza all over his laptop.
Sorry about that.
That's
I
awesome.
do not have COVID.
You need one of those ones that go around your neck, like for harmonica. Those harmonica holders, but for microphone.
Yes. Looks like the headgear.
Yeah.
Like the Bob Dylan thing. I have one of those.
The headgear. You wear headgear.
Orthodontics.
Sweatband, like.
I had
I
that,
could just
but
put
that
a
was
head-
longer than 10 years
put a
ago.
headset on.
That wasn't the question. Okay.
10 years ago, what was your life like?
2013, 10 years ago. All right. No kids. I was on staff at New Hope Church. So, spring of 2013, we had just finished, not flipping. Flipping doesn't count. Like we had bought a foreclosure house, and we were just like last phase of projects was that spring. What else? We were wanting to have kids but couldn't, and I think we were gearing up. Maybe that was the first time we were gearing up for an adoption process. How'd you think? I might be off by a year. Yeah.
I'm
So
probably, I don't know specific, but probably about, yeah. Because 2013 is when we moved from Maple Plain, the fall of 2013.
moved back to
And
California.
yeah.
For a few minutes.
So-
Okay. I mean, I guess I shouldn't assume context. So we were living in Plymouth, working at New Hope Church in Minneapolis, and I was probably playing softball back then, pre-kids. Yep.
Cool. Number 9. 9. It's a German for no. What's something you have a hard time saying no to?
Speaking German.
How deep you want me to go with this?
Person, place, or thing. Doesn't need to go deep.
I mean, Chick-fil-A and Culver's.
Okay.
I'll never
Okay.
say no.
have you ever
never?
had Shake Shack?
No.
Oh.
What?
Oh. Oh.
You haven't had Shake
Dude.
Shack either?
Yeah.
There's way too many people in
We're,
this.
we're going to do Shake Shack.
Mike had
'cause
Shake
Where's
Shack.
the nearest Shake Shack?
Maple Grove.
It's like Culver's, but 10 times better.
Well, I wouldn't say it's like Culver's.
Well, smash burgers, crinkle fries.
they got hamburgers. We went through that on the way down there last week with Mike. Mike Stella had never had Shake Shack.
But
either.
he went on Friday and he said,
Yeah,
I'll
it's good.
definitely be back.
It's good.
So,
Just burgers. They do have chicken.
yep. And they have shakes.
Yeah.
Good.
So.
Yeah, I have a hard time saying no to
Are you,
that.
are you
Chick-fil-A
spicy
and
food?
Culver's.
Do you like spicy?
What's your order? What's your order at Chick-fil-A?
Chick-fil-A, just number one.
What's that? Chicken sandwich?
Their classic chicken sandwich. No extras. Just
Spicy or no?
no. I did that once a couple weeks ago for the first time because I ordered number one always my entire life. I did a spicy one. It was all right, but wasn't as outstanding. I used to love their lemonade, but Chick-fil-A, if you're listening, they changed the potion.
Did they?
They stopped doing the freshly squeezed and switched to this like
Country
it's
time?
pre-made country time, basically.
Powder, like what we
What we
have
got.
on Sundays?
It's like it's not bad lemonade now, but it's not like something you'd crave.
Sure.
You don't go there for it anymore. So
You like Chick-fil-A?
I will eat Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A or Cane's?
I think Cane's
never been to
overrated.
Cane's.
I'm a Popeyes guy. Popeyes spicy chicken.
Love that
Beats
chicken
them
at
all.
Popeyes.
Yep. Louisiana fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm okay with Chick-fil-A. I like spicy. My favorite thing ever at Chick-fil-A is that shake they do around Christmas time, the peppermint one. It's like heaven in a cup, man, that stuff.
Heaven in a cup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never had it.
Weird thing is the only time I ever eat Popeyes is when I'm in Hawaii. I know they have, what's the closest one to here? Brooklyn Park?
I think there's one in Brooklyn Park, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. They have one as you're heading down to Waikiki. Yeah, I always just end up stopping there. Number 8. What's the best thing you've recently ate?
Why is that funny?
I don't know. He
The
laughed.
number 8, brought to you by Steve Special.
I guess that was a clever rhyme, Andy. well-constructed sentence. The best thing I ate recently.
Are you? It's like more practical for food for you, or is it? Are you a foodie?
I mean, the right answer.
Do you like
'cause-
cooking?
Let me check. I'm pretty sure my wife might be watching. So dinner
Something
last night. Yeah. I ran home between like church in the afternoon and for church last night, and it was this. I don't even know the name of it, but it's like chicken and then a bunch of goop, like cream of chicken stuff, like a gravy-ish type thing, and then
Smothered chicken.
cream cheese mashed potatoes.
Ooh.
Comfort
And then
101,
like
man.
she got
Cheese,
like
mashed
fresh bread
potatoes.
Okay.
at it's probably Sam's Club or something. I don't know.
Nice.
And that was pretty delicious. So
She's a good cook.
and Steve's Pizza, how this is called? Not bad. Maybe a little overcooked. But that was user error.
You like a doughy crust? Is that what you like?
Not as crunchy. Like I shouldn't be able to hold my pizza up like this. Like it should flop down a little bit. This is like, I mean, you see this? It's pretty good. But yeah, most
Kind of like a cracker. You turn pizza into Lunchables.
It's actually the way it would be when you get it there.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little bend to it, but.
yeah, it's good pizza. But yeah, dinner last night was great.
Number 7, on the seventh day God rested. What does your ideal day of rest look like? Somebody just had a home run.
Who was it? Yankees? 3-0 Yankees.
25. Who's 25 for the Yankees? Is that Gleyber Torres?
All right. Day of rest for me. Hang out with my kids. So winter, summer is different. But in the summer, it would involve like get out for a run or a bike ride, go out on the lake. My grandparents have a spot on the lake, and we've got an old 93 Rinker ski boat out there.
Is Tom?
Yeah, Tom and Barb. And hang out on the lake.
Where is this? I want to go.
You know, let's go. It's Excelsior.
Oh, on Minnetonka? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen your grandpa since probably 04, maybe.
Oh, wow.
05.
18 years.
Who's-
My grandpa's turning 95 this summer.
Wow.
He's awesome.
Because
He's doing pretty well.
I had to stop. We used
For
to go to the
95.
same summer camp, family camp.
Northern Pines.
Yep. And I stopped going when I got
That's where I heard it.
Northern Pines from me.
You were just talking about it. I'm like, I heard it somewhere.
Yeah.
When I got a full-time youth position, I had to make hard choices and not be able to go anymore. So, but that was probably the last time I saw your grandpa.
That's the first time you had to make hard choices?
I wish. Number 6, take out your phone.
Uh-oh.
What's the 6th most recent picture on your phone?
6 most recent pictures?
If
this
we're
is
able
gonna
to
be
see that.
boring for you guys.
It's a-
All right. So, first one is a selfie of me wearing this shirt this morning. I text my nephew and my brother-in-law because I got this shirt, this twin shirt from them for Christmas, sort of.
sort of.
It's a complicated story.
Okay.
You want the story?
Sure.
All right. I'm going to air some family laundry here.
Literally.
Literally. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
So we draw names for Christmas, right? Among the adults. We buy gifts for all the kids, but the adults swap names, and you buy for that person. You get a price range. We do lists. So there really aren't surprises. But this Christmas in particular, we passed out the gifts to the adults, and I sat there and had no gifts. And so we're like, who had Paul's name?
Nobody.
And it turns out, and I left this detail out. My sister-in-law, who was seating like 2 people to my right, had 2 gifts, and one of them was for me. And I'm like, well, I had Christy. And my brother-in-law, Peter, was like, I thought I had Christy. Wait, maybe I didn't have Christy. So long story short, no one got me a gift. Boo-hoo. But then later on, when the kids were opening, this was for my nephew, and it didn't fit him, and they couldn't return it. So out of pity, they gave it to me.
Nice.
And he ended up, like, in the moment, Peter came through. He went on Home Depot's website, and, like, I had a gift card in my inbox before we even left the gift circle. But anyways, I got this. So long story. That's the backstory of why I sent a selfie to Titus, my nephew, who was supposed to get this sweatshirt, and Peter, who didn't give this to me for Christmas. And I said, happy opening day.
Sweet.
So there you go. That's
Nice.
6. I'm not going to give you that long of a story for every picture. The next one is of paint roller sticks.
Did you say all 6?
I just said
Or
the
just the
sixth.
6th?
The 6. I said all 6. Yeah, I was
No,
ready to
paint
go
roller
right down
sticks.
the list.
The sixth most recent one.
Oh, the 6th most. I got
I wasn't
paint
gonna say
sticks for my
anything.
father-in-law. I got the schedule for youth group last night.
Okay.
I have a picture of my desk with a spoof picture to some former coworkers. I've got some OSB for a project I'm doing.
All right.
And then our fence in our backyard that the contractor's building a house behind us damaged. So there you go.
Is that the sixth, the fence in the backyard?
Oh, 6. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, the fence.
Okay. Number 5, top 5 favorite bands. Greg, you want that last piece?
You don't want it?
I'll eat it.
Go for it.
That's on.
That would be good.
What's really funny is you're eating both pizzas kind of at the same pace.
That is funny. You're going back. You are. Put that down. Get the other one.
That's how I do it.
Top
Usually-
5 favorite bands.
Usually that's because
Guess I'll just lick
it's
that
hot.
card.
Andy's going to eat it into the mic. Usually because it's hot, and if I eat it, alternating bites, and it cools as I go. Because you're asking me all these intrusive questions, I can't really eat my pizza. What did you ask me? Top
5 favorite bands.
Bands?
Of all time. Your favorite.
All right. Well, in no particular order.
Yeah. Save at least a favorite one for last. If you have a number 1 favorite.
All right. All time. I like secular or Christian. Do I have to differentiate?
No.
All music is Christian.
It's
Right?
also
It's worship.
all secular.
It's all secular. Okay. I'm going to just go the obvious one. Shane and Shane. Go to
A good one.
high school, college, post-college, and our
Count
adult
for
life.
1 or 2?
I think,
Never mind.
no, they're a,
You said Shane and Shane.
I don't want to get into pronouns, but they're a they, right? They're one
Are they?
band.
Right.
They're 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Shane Bernard has ever recorded anything without
False.
Shane. No?
False.
Just solo?
Yeah. I got that on my phone too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one?
Shane Bernard. I believe the album was called Rocks Won't Cry.
Oh, that was like his first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
Yep.
right. But then the first one they came out was the Psalms one.
Psalms.
Which was fantastic. That's such
They've had a lot. Now they've gone like the whole worship initiative thing was like initially like them, and now it's like I think Shane Bernard produces it, but
What's
he's
the
not
other
on
Shane's
it.
last name?
Everett.
Shane Everett?
Call him Big Shane and Little Shane,
Yep.
Oh.
But
Big Shane isn't as big anymore.
and little Shane is a little bit bigger.
It's true.
Kind of like the Hobbits picture the other day. What's his name? That one actor? Had his like 50th,
Sam White,
yeah, 50th birthday.
Rudy.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Sean Astin.
Sean Astin. Yeah.
Sorry for the pop culture reference, Paul.
Right. He said he's not into,
Paul was nervous about the pop culture references.
No nerves.
Are you familiar with the
I'm
Hobbit?
just telling you, there'll be a dimension of conversation that I just
Well, I
won't
didn't mean nervous,
participate
like
in.
terrified. Just yeah, like
No, I
you know,
quoted
well,
Lord of the Rings to him yesterday. He's like, I don't know.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
You know,
I wouldn't unless it was when it like you shall not pass or something that something like that.
I did
but
read The
everyone
Hobbit
was-
in school. I'm pretty sure I had to read that.
Made a book out of that.
I can't carry the ring, Frodo, but I can carry you.
It's one of my favorite jokes. Do you know what movie that's from?
I'm lost. Wait, what? What?
They made
That's from, or they made a book out of it?
They made a book out of that.
Airheads.
Airheads. Yep. Steve Buscemi, his character.
See, I've heard of that movie.
Shane and
Seen
Shane.
it. Shane and Shane. Shane and Shane. I like me some Hillsong. And that's like multiples because they've got like
Yeah, which one?
All in Cup.
the Darlene check, old school.
Yep.
I was listening
United.
to that the other day. United.
The young
and free.
Young and free. Yeah.
They're all good.
Fresh
Yeah.
and clean.
Well, they're not
What else
all
they have?
good, but generally they're good. Yeah.
Crisp
They've
and
had better than
green.
others.
What else do they have? Hillsong Crisp and Green. That's the restaurant in Maple Grove,
This
right?
is
That's-
good, except for it's
That's the
overpriced.
overpriced albums. Yeah.
Overpriced salad.
It's good though.
$20 for a
Yeah.
salad, but
Yeah.
it's good salad.
It's good.
I would rather have the $15 salmon salad at Burke and Bourbon.
Yeah. You could
Shane
buy
Shane,
a bag of salad
Hillsong.
greens at Target for $2. A big old bag of it. Get yourself some ranch dressing. Got yourself a salad.
Yeah. No ranch.
Shane and Shane. What?
Shane and Shane,
Oh
Hillsong.
no. Hillsong.
It's gonna be hard to get to 5. I mean, classic like U2.
Yeah.
obviously.
Classic. They got a new album coming out. Do you know that?
Did
No.
you see on, I think it's
Disney Plus
Disney Plus.
with Dave Letterman.
Yeah, a sort of reunion.
Yeah. It was good. You're sinking. Yes, you finally got a sinking chair. It's happening to Andy. Yeah.
Did you watch
Jordan
it?
and I watched it one night last week.
It's
Yeah, it was
really
good.
good.
It's really good.
Yeah.
So it's like a doc. It has Bono and the Edge. David Letterman goes over to Ireland and just kind of talks about background of the band, like how they started, and childhood, and history.
Just kind of how
and
they evolved throughout the years, and
They played a few
they rewrote some of the lyrics. A
rewrote
couple of songs,
some
like,
lyrics, and
was
like
it Sunday Bloody
new
Sunday?
arrangements to some of the songs. Yeah,
And they did them all in
good.
really unique ways because they just had mostly Edge and Bono, and then a couple other ancillary artists.
Some
Like remember the
strings.
movie Once?
nope.
No.
Glenn answered.
No.
I didn't know they were buddies. That was fun. movie.
The movie Once was about this street performer in
I believe I told you about that.
Ireland,
movie.
wasn't it? You told me about that movie?
Yeah.
No, I watched that movie way before I knew you.
Really? I
Yeah.
thought that it was someone else. Here, by one of these tables out there, after the first time he played, I think it's Build My Life.
It sounded like that guy.
So I was like, it sounds like a
Glenn, what's his
sounds
name?
like
Glenn.
Answered or something,
Yeah.
something like that.
Anyway, it was a really good documentary.
On Disney Plus,
You too.
who sponsors the podcast. I don't know if you know. We got a sponsor. Just get
By Disney Plus.
Disney Blues. You too. Hillsong, Shane and Shane. 2 more.
All right. 2 more.
This is what we do, by the way, Paul. Andy comes prepared with stuff, and I just interrupt.
Tell stories.
Yeah.
And then
About movies
try to
that I haven't heard of.
wrangle everybody back in.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough.
The thing is, you're better at getting back on track than Mike, because Mike joins me in the interruption stuff. And then Andy gets frustrated.
I don't get
I
frustrated.
like Mike. I feel like I know Mike,
very
but I've never
elastic.
met Mike. It's because I've watched you guys on this thing. from
Do you
time to
feel like
time.
you know him?
A bit.
Yeah.
I mean, just in this context.
He's pretty much
I never knew why
exactly
he
what you
disappeared
see.
partway through the segment, though. We're like, no, right? Well, he'd be like here. Well, then he just would disappear, and I didn't know like he had to get back to work.
Yep.
So
Well, he also doesn't like Stan when we do the family business stuff.
yeah, it's.
I think he just gets tired of me and Andy.
You think you guys are boring or what?
He's got his quota filled.
He's like, I know all those things. I read the newsletter. Why do I need to watch you guys talk
Yeah.
about it?
When he's on the podcast, he doesn't come to church Sunday.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Because he knows all the things.
Because he had enough of us.
All right, I got 2 slots left.
2 slots more.
Okay, I'm
What about
gonna
your
go
brother?
1 secular and 1 Christian. So
Secular. Crossover.
okay, this one's definitely not a crossover candidate. Sigur Rós, if you know them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Icelandic.
great. Definitely not Christian, but very worshipful music.
I can't understand anything they're saying, so how do you know? He might be singing classic hymns.
Have you heard?
I had a roommate that called it the whale music.
Yeah. That's what I call like electric guitar players that play a lot of the spacey stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
play me some whale sounds. Have you heard any of those Icelandic trance bands? Where it's like techno trance, but they're Icelandic. They actually dress up like they were in the Vikings Valhalla movie or something like that. It's
No.
very strange, but it's kind of. I mean, it sucks. Like at least me, it kind of like sucks me in.
Sucks you in?
Yeah,
No.
it's just strange. The guy's weird.
Liza had the best music at any wedding ever been to.
Was it Mark?
I don't know who.
That's his brother.
See? He didn't even know my brother. He knows me.
I know you have a brother.
Yeah, my brother.
you
Yeah,
saying
so
that-
the
do you-
band, you probably know some of the band. Mark, Elizabeth Honeycutt, Steve Bowl, Griffin Woodworth played cello, Jasper Nephew played guitar.
I know
Steve Gould
Steve Gould
played drums,
I
yeah.
think I know Steve Bull.
Good friends.
I don't know any of these people. But
Yeah, they're just friends that did. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's who
I
played at
arranged,
your wedding?
Yeah, Sigaros. No, I arranged a bunch of Sigaros music, and that was all our pre-service, recessional, processional. Gobbledygook, you know that song?
No.
That was our exit song. Happy Pola, that's kind of their.
I don't remember any of their music,
All right.
like specifically.
It,
you should listen to it more.
they weren't really famous when we had this stuff at our wedding, but they got big.
Well,
Yeah.
Jonesy
They were in a
did
mo-
lot of movie stuff. Like he
I was gonna say they were in a movie, and I think that's one of the reasons.
bought a zoo. He did the soundtrack. He did How to Train Your Dragon. One of those. He's got a song in there. He started doing a lot of movie, like kind of like Danny Elfman from.
Yeah, that one thing. I know what you're talking about.
Oh, I'm getting input here. Oh, hey, my wife says Sigaros. Look at that.
Was it?
It's on. Liza said it's off. No battery.
Oh, look, she's
One last band.
one last band. I know from some of my friends this would receive an eye roll. But I don't think you guys are that kind of guy. So, Andy, you might know who this is, but I'll give you some broader context to it. Like, this is like a one band, but it could stretch to two. So, artist would be Joy Williams.
I know Joey.
Joy Williams, great voice. She was one half of the Civil Wars.
Oh, yeah.
If you knew the Civil Wars.
Well, we used to have a guy. Well, they still probably connected to Northridge, named Pete Anderson. It's his niece.
Joy is his niece?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So when they really got big, right, like a year before they split up,
Yeah, I mean, does anybody really know what happened to that?
I think it was just artistic differences. Between
Well, that's
the
what they
two.
say, artistic differences.
That's the only thing I know.
Yeah.
I know.
well,
I only know what they.
Okay,
they
I
are.
didn't know if you had the dish from her
No,
uncle.
No.
What really happened? Because it was a weird fizz. They were,
There might
they
have
were
been
great.
some weird tension between the two of them, but she
Well, yeah,
was,
they weren't a
she
couple,
was married,
but they
wasn't she?
sung like they were a couple. So
Right.
I always wondered how that worked.
Yeah, they were really great.
Yeah, so Joy Williams / Civil Wars,
Civil
but
Wars.
then she's done some independent records after. Her whole faith journey is kind of interesting. I don't know where she's at now, but yeah, there you go.
Cool. Number 4. Do you have a dream vehicle? Dream truck or dream
vehicle?
car? Yeah. No money is not an issue. What's your dream vehicle?
A new truck.
Just any kind of truck?
Yeah,
Or a
I mean,
specific
I've
truck?
got a older, it's like 6-7 years old Ram pickup truck.
The most ironic
ton.
name for a vehicle, Dodge Ram.
It's just a Ram now. They're not Dodge, supposedly. But your Dodge and my Ram have the same logo.
They're not Dodge anymore?
It was brain. It's like Comcast Xfinity kind of deal, where they like
Oh,
said
so
it's
it's just
not
Ram
anymore.
truck?
Ram Truck is its own entity, but it's still
Oh.
the whole Chrysler family.
Yeah.
I mean, people get it.
Yeah.
They're smart. It's
Okay.
like you say Xfinity, like you know it's Comcast.
Sure.
Even though Comcast had a bad name from,
So would you
Although bad.
want another Ram
I don't know.
or
I've
Ford Raptor?
This might get some pushback from the truck community, which I'm not really like. I don't even know other truck
Yeah.
people at Northridge.
They're not like Calvin and Hobbes stickers peeing on the other logo truck people. There's
classy.
guys that like their trucks.
Okay, I'll just say it this way. I'm intrigued by the electric truck, like the Ford Lightning or
Yeah.
You
The-
lost me
that's gonna get
when
you
you
run
said
out of
electric.
The, like-
electric more than the
But
brand.
here's the deal. Like,
even
the
have any
reason, like,
Teslas here?
I'm super practical. I like doing projects and hauling stuff, and we pull the boat around in the summer. And so, like, having the truck is awesome. But my dad, for 25 years of his career, most recently, is an energy consultant. So it's ingrained in me, like, turn the lights off. What's going to be energy efficient? So, if you have a way to be self-sustaining, like if you can do solar and it works, and you can it actually could be a really good deal, which is what I like. So I don't know if I would do any of those, but like I would just get probably a new Toyota Tundra, and yeah.
Toyota. Those are
Yeah.
good vehicles. Number 3. You have 3 kids. Which is the funniest?
For sure, our
I thought you were going
son
to say which is your favorite.
favorite. For those of you that were here Sunday in the 10:30 hour,
Yeah.
this played out. Isaiah, our youngest, the one with the glasses, is the funniest.
Yeah.
He says some hilarious things. You know, like he's 3.5. He'll be 4 later this summer, and he. Hey, they're putting up posters behind us. See that?
Yeah.
Your shoulder. There you go. Big weekend this weekend, which we'll talk about later. Yeah, he says things that you don't realize. You're like, you're so little. How do you think that? Like these witty comments. He's a stitch. He's a lot of fun.
Nice.
And he's pretty intense, like borderline explosive at times, which kind of comes with the age that he is. So, yeah.
Number 2. 2 places that you've never been before that you would like to visit. In any place in the world.
That's easy. I've always admired the beauty of like some of those Caribbean islands, like St. John, St. Martin, like all those. Like,
Sure.
I'd like to go there someday, which probably, it's so expensive to fly there. Economically, it'd probably be a cruise just to get there. And then I'd like to go to Israel and see the dusty trails and hear the stories. And you did that, Greg, right? Back in the Maple Plain days.
Yep.
Have you ever
Did all
been?
those things.
Nope.
Dusty trails and stories. Yep.
That's what it was.
Small boat on the
Riding a horse on the
Sea
dusty
of
trail.
Galilee, and I remember looking at that, thinking like, how could a giant storm, like how could this lake have a storm big enough to make fishermen scared? And then we were out in the middle of the lake on this boat, and rain starts going sideways, and wind starts going, and it was like, okay, I could see how this would happen. Yeah. It was interesting. Lots of dusty trails further south. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
No, Israel's awesome.
Be really meaningful.
It's great.
Someday.
Cool. Number 1. Do you have a life verse or a favorite Bible verse that you, I don't know, you've heard that phrase, life verse or whatever.
A life verse.
Yeah,
I
or-
don't. I mean, I can spout off a couple.
You don't have like 1 or 2 verses that sort of drive like a theme in your life? Like for me, Colossians 3:17.
Which says,
Whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God, giving thanks to God the Father through him.
Hey, that verse is right now on our bathroom mirror.
Hey,
I
put it there.
write stuff on our mirror with dry erase
Okay.
marker. Riley last night was reading it when she got out of the bath, and she asked me, "Why can't you just put our memory verse up there so it'll be for Kids Quest?" So I was like, I can do that next week. So
it's hard to pin one.
that's a big book, right? Like,
It's a lot of books within the book.
yeah, lots of
A
verses.
few.
How many verses are in the Bible?
A lot.
Even though it's
More than
Thanks-
one.
thanks, Greg.
You told him to pick one. I mean,
Yeah, I can give you a couple. Like, I'm going to go a few verses after you in Colossians 3:23. It actually kind of echoes it.
Yep.
Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, is working for the
Lord, not for me.
Yeah, I don't think people can hear you that far away. Your mic.
What happened to your holder? Your mic holder.
He bailed on it. Oh, we're finding out how many Bible verses. See, I didn't bring my laptop. I just thought I'd eat my
he's
pizza.
Googling? You like to Google.
23,145
in the Old Testament and 7,957 for a total of 31,102 verses.
You
which
want me
is
to pick one?
an average of a little more than 26 verses per chapter. But 31,102. Get rid of 31,101 and Colossians 3:23.
That's right up there for me.
Okay.
It'd be in my top 5. You give me 5, but that's one.
Cool. There you go. That was
10.
pretty harmless.
10
10
things.
questions with Paul. So we'll just kind of go more into depth. Just
I'm not done.
No, we're still going to be interviewing you. Tell
could
us a
eat your
little bit
crust,
more about you, your family, maybe where you came from, where you grew up, where you went to school. I don't know, just whatever you.
All right. My family is me and my wife, Liza.
You've been married how long?
14 years this April.
Wow.
Yep. Greg was there. Did you know that?
You were at the wedding?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's what I said. They had the best music to any wedding I've ever been to.
He
Were
was
you
there.
not listening to me?
I don't know. He could have just told
I'm
you.
used to it. You never listen.
Yeah. Hey,
You're
Greg, my
used to
music,
it?
was, my
Used to it.
music was the
Does
best.
that mean your
Tell him
wife
that.
doesn't listen
Yeah,
to you?
it's like, yeah, I'm used to it.
No, he's talking about his kids,
Oh, okay.
not Jordan.
Well, he always says,
I'll say, Andy will say or do something. I'm like, you remind me of my wife. They have a very similar, like, it's not necessarily personality. It's just like approach or, I don't know, I can't explain it. But they approach me in a similar way.
I
like,
approach you in a similar.
kind of like,
I'm going to
You're an
interject
idiot.
here. All right, so I got, before this
I
goes
don't know.
off
Is this
the
not
rails-
I don't know
riveting?
who should be more offended.
No, I just don't know where
Jordan
this is
or
headed.
I don't
I
know.
think probably Jordan.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jordan.
I'm trying to save you, man.
Me. I'm more offended.
You're more offended.
I'm offended by this.
All right.
Yeah, it's offensive.
So you've been married 14
Yeah,
years
14
this
years.
April. Greg was there, Sigaros, and grew up where?
Plymouth. Yeah,
Wayzata graduate?
kind of.
Kind of.
Technically, yeah.
Homeschool?
You never graduated high school?
No, I have a diploma from Wayzata High School. Yes.
Oh,
but
post-
I did post-secondary. So I
Where?
I didn't really I went to Wayzata for 2 years, but then
Where'd you
junior
do
and senior
post-secondary?
year. Junior year I was full-time at North Hennepin.
Okay.
So wait, that PSEO thing. So you don't graduate from high school?
No, I did, but
You do.
what I was gonna say is like I was there for my freshman and sophomore year, but like the last 2 years of high school, I think I went back for lunch a handful of times just because they good
friends.
mozzarella sticks and I could see my friends. But I was in college full time, so I went to graduation.
Okay.
Threw the gown in not the gown,
Yeah.
threw the cap in the air. But I don't really. So I guess I texted you the other night about the Wayzata boys basketball
Right.
state final. I thought maybe you went, being a Plymouth guy yourself.
I graduated from
watch,
Wayzata.
but you didn't care?
I didn't care because
I cared, but I don't know. I didn't really care if they won. Like if they won, I'd be like, yeah, they won. But if they lost, I'd be like, see,
Oh, well.
other people can win too. Yeah. So Wayzata, and junior year North Hennepin, and then senior year I went to Bethel.
Okay, and
and
that's
stayed
where
there.
you finished your undergrad
Yep.
at Bethel?
Graduated from
Did you go
Bethel.
to Bethel Seminary? No.
No, I went to Bethel for
that's-
Bible and theology degree, and then ended up. This is where you probably don't even know this yet. Andy and I, our paths like just missed each other. I went to a small seminary called the Masters Institute in St. Paul.
Yep.
Kind of affiliated with. There's a new renewal group that North Heights was connected with, and they started a seminary. And Andy went
The very first year that they
first year,
started.
first class.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. One year, and
then you were
didn't-
out.
Didn't finish. Didn't go back. Yeah.
And I think I was maybe the
Fifth year.
third, fourth, fifth year, something like that. Yeah. So,
We know a lot of the same people.
yeah.
Like
Great.
Kendra Deal was.
Kendra Deal.
She was at Vision of Glory, the church that I was at.
I had a vision of Mariah Carey. No. Every time I hear Vision of Glory, it reminds me of Mariah Carey.
Who are you
Vision of
singing
Love.
this morning?
I don't remember. What was I
You
saying
said-
this morning?
You had some song in your head.
Oh, Beyonce.
Yeah, Beyonce. Yeah, he was singing Beyonce this
Yeah.
morning when we were hanging.
All the single
Easter
ladies.
No,
decorations.
not single ladies. I knew someone was going to say no. The Ring the Alarm, because they played it at the end at the first episode of Ted Lasso. This
Oh,
season,
yeah.
When what's his name, the jerk manager for the
Nate.
other team now, Nate, was driving
Yeah.
away. I have
In
that
his new
song stuck
car.
in my head. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
So you went to Bethel. You got your seminary work done at Masters Institute.
Mm-hmm.
And then what did you do after you graduated from Masters?
Wait, explain the Masters Institute again.
Okay.
It was started by New Heights.
North Heights?
North
Heights?
Heights, not by.
Or
There
kinda?
was a group.
What was that renewal?
It's called the Alliance of Renewal
Alliance
Churches.
Renewal Church, that's right.
And they would host two
I
conferences
can
each
lie, it
year.
sounds a bit culty.
Lutheran Charismatic.
I know.
Paul
I know.
Anderson.
That's
Paul
what,
Anderson.
yes. He says Lutheran Charismatic.
Lutheran
Yeah,
Charismatic. That's a
funny.
real thing. I grew up Baptist, went to Lutheran Charismatic
Lutheran
Seminary.
Charismatics are like kind of.
That makes me Baptist-Jellicostal.
All right then. Oh, that'll do.
Jellicosty?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right then. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a charismatic.
Amen.
Uh,
hey, I
don't
gave you an
be-
amen on Sunday.
Yeah, I know because I made a bald joke.
Yeah, amen.
Well, so
Yeah.
what's funny is the Masters in California completely different. That's John
Right.
MacArthur's.
That's
school.
MacArthur.
Yes,
Little different
very-
tribe.
Non-charismatic.
very different.
I had his study Bible in junior high.
Yeah.
Stick up the butt.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
just strict dispensationalist, and
Yeah.
I'm very aware of his theology. Yeah,
no,
good.
it's just funny.
Yeah.
It's just
So
funny. They're same.
it was a different, very different stream. Like I grew up at a Baptist church, went to Bethel, and then
And you grew up at which church?
Olivet Baptist, which is now Cornerstone Church in Crystal Robbinsdale. I was working at the time, my last couple of years of college, was working at Woodridge Church, which I think I mentioned Sunday. It was a church that planted Northridge, so which was at the time doing the Willow Creek seeker-sensitive model,
Yep. The
which is a whole nother
main service on Wednesday nights.
stream. Yeah, that was my gig, was Wednesday night.
Community. What it was
New
what was it called?
Community.
New Community.
Yep, with Kevin Meyer and Carla Larson.
Sunday
and-
morning was all meant for people to bring their friends and
Yeah.
seekers. Yep.
So I was doing that and then went to a Lutheran Charismatic Seminary. Yeah, it was
Sweet.
good. It was good.
Sweet.
When
Yeah.
did you get into, like, how did you know that you wanted to go this career path in ministry?
I don't see it as a career path because I thought you were gesturing me or something. Checking your mic.
Panicked at my mic's not.
Put brand new batteries.
It
in
was a
your phone.
job at first. So I reference Woodridge. I started there in college, and it was honestly a better job than the job that I had before that, working at a warehouse stocking supplies for nursing homes. Elam Preferred Services in Plymouth. It paid well, but like we were picking orders, loading trucks, unloading stuff, and it was products that you hope you never need. And then I went on staff at Woodridge, and it was like I got paid to do stuff I was excited about and that I felt, was really meaningful from an eternal perspective. So it was a good job at first, but I didn't view it that way for very long because I started in the summer, and that October they hosted. They brought in Bethel Seminary to do a leadership conference in October. I think it was maybe like the second weekend of October that fall. And Brian Schubring was the guy who kind of headlined the whole thing. And on this weekend, it's for high school and college students, and they have you take like kind of the classic personality, gift inventories, all that. And then they do sessions where they teach you stuff. They put you in teams and give you projects. And then you've got like, I think they call them advisors that like observe you over the course of those couple days. And then at the end of it, it culminates where they do like an exit interview of sorts, where they tell you about you, what they see in you, what they think. And so through this whole weekend, God really spoke to me. Through several of the sessions, just kind of what was stirring in my heart. And kind of the culmination of it happened on the Saturday afternoon, where they give you like I don't remember exactly how long it was, but it was like an hour or two of like silent retreat. Like you go pray and just sit and listen. And I can still like picture it vividly. At Woodridge, I went out the side door of their worship center, and there's just, a little slab there, and I'm sitting looking at basically Medina farmland and praying and reflecting. And there was a moment where I just like felt in my spirit the Lord say, you need to be a pastor. And I second guessed it immediately. I'm like, I'm just thinking things. I don't know. But like it was like recurring and like pressing. There was like a weight to it. And I went back inside at the end of this as I'm walking down the hallway to go to the, whatever the closing session that we had. The youth pastor at the time stopped me in the hall and looked me in the eye and said, how are you doing with your call into ministry? And I was like, what? Like instant confirmation. So then we go to the last session, and after that have like your exit interview thing. And the two folks, Andrea Haybeisen and Heidi Dick, two gals who are pretty involved at Wayzata Free Westgate Church now, were my two advisors, and they shared just the burden that they had felt through that weekend that God was calling me into ministry, but they didn't want to impose that on me or like project it. They wanted it to come from Him, not from them. And I was like, hold on, let me tell you what just happened. And so that conversation was another just affirmation in that, where they just shared what they'd seen. Now, they went to Woodridge, so they'd gotten to know me over a couple months at least, just initially. And Heidi and I worked together. She was on staff there. So Andrea was too. So like through that weekend, I felt like a very distinct call into ministry. And I was on staff at Woodridge at the time. After college, had a couple mentors that pushed me to consider seminary, and I ended up going to a less traditional, conventional route for that. But really, it was the calling. And so it hasn't ever really been a career path that like, this is what I want to do vocationally. It just is like, I just know it is. So even, last fall when my wife and I were praying through, just sensing a stirring that something different was coming and not knowing what that was, I had some great friends that challenged me and asked me, even pushed me toward opportunities that would be in the marketplace. And as much as I tried to think about it, like I never really could. It was just like maybe there'll come a time down the road, but for me right now, I just knew that to be obedient to the Lord means being in ministry. So, that happened. That was it'll be 21 years ago this October. So 20 and a half years ago.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't mean to necessarily say career path.
I know you're boxing me in, but it actually kind of makes the point for me of like the distinction that like
no,
it's
a good distinction.
It's not wrong if it is a career path for people. Like it can be, but like my hope has always been like, so part of in my role the last 7-8 years at New Hope, hiring staff and building teams and stuff, ideally like a desire that we've had, that I have, is that like the people that you hire, it doesn't always work this way, but there to be at least a sense of call toward the position.
Right.
Maybe not like a lifelong, like this is what I need to do. But when that's there, man, the grit and the stamina, the like kind of the gumption to go and stand in there and do hard things, like it's so foundational. Yeah.
Than just this is a job.
Yeah.
Right. And let me ask you this then. If you weren't doing full-time ministry, what career do you think you would? That's the second question I had in mind. That's why the word career came out. But I totally agree with you when it comes to calling.
I'd probably be in some, like, I don't know, strategist, project management, improvement kind of a role. I don't know. I make it better is one of my top 3 in the Strengths Finders. And I'm wired. Do you guys do the Enneagram? Any of that stuff? No?
Not as a group.
Okay. But I'm a 1, so I'm just wired to,
I think I'm a 3.
to see things through the lens of like, how can we build this? How can we enhance this? How can we, if something's off, like how can we fix this, right? So some kind of a role that would be doing that. I mean, that's like realistic. Like I would like to just do the fun things I like to do in life, like run and bike and ski and watch the wolves or
So what are
drive
some
my
of,
boat, like, and get paid to do that.
right.
But that's
Keep
not
going
a
with
job.
that. What are some
that's
of your
not a job.
interests outside of your responsibilities here now?
Personally, I'm not like the gym buff CrossFit guy, but I love fitness. So I run half marathons. That's kind of my jam.
Didn't you run your first half marathon?
No. 5K, man.
Oh, 5K.
Like half a half. That's like a quarter of a half marathon.
3 miles. 3.11.
man.
Yeah.
Something
Don't cut yourself
I know.
short.
I'm not. You're cutting myself short.
3.11.
I was gonna, because I wasn't gonna include the 1-1. I just 3.1. Half marathon's what? 13 miles. 13.1.
Yep. Yeah.
Have you ever done a full marathon?
No,
No?
never.
Never?
I won't.
You won't?
No,
Ever.
I don't. I got family history of back and knees and hips, and I want to be
I have
running
all
when
those things, too.
I want to be running when I'm like 50, not limping. So I do. I don't know, 4, 5, or 6. Like usually 5 or 6 half marathons each year. I kind of do 2 seasons: a spring season and a fall season, and that's fun to me. So yeah, and then I like to ride my bike just so I don't. I mentioned the hip and back and knees. I do other stuff, cross
It's not the greatest
training.
for the knees.
Biking?
Is
It's
it?
just different. Like
It's
if
just-
you run back to back to back to back to back days, like it just takes a toll on you. So I
I
never.
suppose it's a different kind of impact.
I don't. I was just talking to a couple of these guys at youth group last night. Like they're just machines. I don't ever run back to back days. I always cross train.
You have
something.
some
37, 38-year-old sensibility.
no, I was talking about in the group that you led last night, you have some
Cross country.
cross
Cross-country
country
skiers. Yeah, I do that in the
Micah,
winter.
is Micah
And
was
cross
Micah in
country
your group?
runners.
Yeah, they're both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Blake England.
No, I like to run all year, and then on my alternate days in the winter I'll cross country ski, in the summer I'll bike, and then just last fall wouldn't say I probably am going to be, but I did my first triathlon in the fall, and so I'm doing a couple this summer. So I'm like learning how to swim, but I'm not.
You don't know
great
how to
at
swim?
Well, like I'm not going to drown. I passed swim lessons, but
So, like I said, what
It's
do
a
you like to do for fun?
Do the swimming part.
fun.
Do the swimming part first. You don't want to do that when you're tired. If you don't know how to swim,
You'll sink.
Yeah,
And you're
no,
tired.
I swim. No, like, but all that
to
is
ride your
fun to
bike
me.
all that way to
No, I'm
get
just
to the
kidding.
It's fun to me.
lake.
Yeah, I swam yesterday morning. I just got
I
a
like
punch
mine.
card at the Maple Grove Community Center, so I
Back to
can
the Future 3
swim.
when he's in the Old West and he's like, run
saw that
for
one.
fun. Never saw Back to the Future 3.
Never
the
saw
Old
that one.
West one.
I know. I just
That's
never
good.
saw it.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's fun. That stuff is fun to me, and I like doing projects at
Congrats.
home, fixing stuff.
just kidding. You handyman?
We've had 2. This is our second house we've had, and both have been fixer-uppers. So
You live in
Plymouth,
Plymouth?
Still Plymouth.
Technically Plymouth?
We moved from
It's not
a
Corcoran?
townhouse in Plymouth to a foreclosure
not
in
Medina?
Plymouth to now Plymouth again. Yeah.
Okay. Wait, what side on 101 are you? On the east or the west
East.
side? Oh, okay. Yeah. Isn't the west side,
We're-
that'd be Medina?
Or Corcoran.
Or Corcoran.
Yeah. We're just north of the high school, but like our house, there's a bunch of new developments kind of
The peony,
north
peony
and
that
east
goes
of
back
us.
there?
Yeah, Troy Lane.
Okay.
But we bought an existing home back in there and putting some sweat into it. Did the inside last year. Now this year's outside. So, but that's fun to me. That's like on my day off. Like I like doing stuff. So,
You don't like just stagnant.
No,
Yeah. If you're growing,
say
you're
that.
dying.
I wouldn't say that. I don't like
Have you heard that quote before?
No.
if you're not growing.
If
you're
you're
dying.
not growing, you're dying.
Oh, I thought you said if you're growing.
Oh,
I didn't hear the.
You're
not
right.
part.
I didn't
Like,
say that. Yeah. If you're not growing,
not growing, you're dying.
There's some arguments about that quote.
Yeah.
But I like, just to bring it back to the day that is today, I do
Yes.
like my Minnesota sports teams.
There you go.
So all
Favorite sport to watch?
football,
Football.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm loyal. Lived here my whole life, so I'm always a fan. And
Do you like the new
perpetually
logo?
disappointed. No, I don't. I mean, like the logo itself, like as a standalone, if you're like, hey, here's a logo for a baseball team, you're like, yeah, that's pretty cool.
okay.
But compared to what?
But it's not even
Minnesota
compared to what it
logos.
was. It's just that
Yeah.
we were talking about this morning. I didn't feel like it needed a rebrand.
No.
When they went from the old
I thought they just recently.
swooshy M to the TC, that was a good move.
Yeah.
And the
TC is
TC,
just fantastic.
they could have tweaked the TC slightly, which that's one of their alternates. And they could have just done that, and it would have been fine. And brought the baby blue uniforms for the
I like
alternate.
that old. I like the Cooperstown looking one that's got the cream with the blue,
Yeah.
which is Twin Cities.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Do you like
So you
going
see
to
it's a
baseball
good
games?
logo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
we
it's
should-
different with kids. Like before kids,
Yeah.
Yeah.
my brother-in-law was a part of a group that had season tickets, so I'd put my name down for, 10 or 12 Twins games, and it was great. I don't know. We might go to 1 or 2 this year with the kids, but if anybody's got free tickets, I'm always game.
We're always
We're
game.
good.
Yeah, we're going to
we
the
will-
Wolves game on Sunday.
Nice.
They're giving away jerseys, Karl Anthony Towns jerseys to the kids. So
Is he still
we bought-
playing?
They burn them.
he's back. He's played, I believe, 3 games out of 4.
You say they're going to burn him?
That's what we should burn.
No, don't burn
Get
him.
him out.
Carl,
The cat?
no.
Trade him.
The cat?
No,
Just
Is that what it
release
is?
him.
No, Carl he's a good player. He's not the elevator player that's
No.
gonna I think with Edwards there's a chance they could.
I think Edwards has a really good chance.
He's got the
The
moxie.
problem is like 5 years ago when they had Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns. Neither of those were the elevator
they're
players.
similar personality that way.
Yeah.
Carl's a little more whiny than Wiggins.
Oh, they're all whiny.
No, Wiggins wasn't whiny. He just was
All NBA.
subdued.
He just was aloof and indifferent.
Yeah.
That's what Wiggins is.
Somehow the Warriors made him care. No, we're going Sunday. You should go. $10 in the family section, and the kids get a jersey.
Or I could sit around and watch baseball all day.
Or you could watch that on TV for free. Well, we're going, and that's going to be fun for me because my youngest Isaiah is obsessed with the Timberwolves, so it'll be fun. He'll wear that jersey.
So he is funny.
Ah,
He's funny.
yeah.
I'm running the Goldies run on Sunday.
Ooh, what's that?
Oh,
Me
that's
and
why you're off
Paul-
on Sunday.
Paul Jonason and
2 miles?
myself. 3.1 miles.
3.1
Andy.
miles.
There's a 5K, a 5 mile, and a 10 mile, right?
It's- yeah, we're just
or a
doing
10
five-
mile.
5K.
Or you can do the relay. Oh, 5K.
Yeah, I mean, I signed up for that a while back, thinking that
Wait,
maybe I'd
Paul
get my
Jonason's
son.
doing that?
Yeah, he's
he
not
supposed to be on
computer
your
this
tech
week.
team this
He was
Sunday?
on last week.
Oh, that's right.
It's Paul, man. He had that covered. I'm sure he fixed that on the schedule. Told you months ago.
Well, he has blockout days, but they're
Yeah.
all mostly that they say kids.
Yeah,
So.
but we talked about doing it a while back. I signed up thinking outside chance that maybe my nephew Troy from Texas would come up because he's a big college football guy, and I thought, hey, USC's joining the Big Ten in a couple of years, and maybe hey, come. It finishes in the field in the stadium. The run.
Yeah,
does.
I did it once.
Yeah, and
It's pretty cool.
And then
Through
I
the
thought
tunnel,
Asher
finish
has
on the
talked
field.
about, you finish like at midfield or something. Asher talked about maybe doing cross country, and I was like, hey, this will be fun, man. You get to finish inside the stadium, and he kind of like him and Hod. And then, meanwhile, I signed up for it. I didn't really even think it'd be a Sunday. I just figured it'd be Saturday morning. And then as it got close, I didn't even really look at the date, but as it got closer, I'm like, well, it's Sunday. And then Asher and my wife and my mother-in-law all, who had talked about possibly doing it, thought, no, it's probably going to be too cold. I'm like, whatever. So, but then Paul had signed up, so he and I are going to go run together.
Just the two of you?
So the thing is, though, I have to take like 2 steps to every one of Paul's. He's 6'6" or whatever he is. So, yeah, we'll run and then be back here probably, I don't know, 9:30.
You'll come to church. You gonna shower first?
Yeah, I'll go shower. Doesn't take long.
Thanks
I'll
for
wash
that.
my hair, come back.
That'll
and-
take a minute.
Yeah, less, way less. You're spending way too much time on your hair.
You didn't pick up my sarcasm.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'll shower quick and head over. So I'm not really off the whole morning. It's just I'll probably be,
But when you're going to just come to church, you're not going to be like doing your thing, are you?
yeah, why not?
Well, you took the day off.
Just because I'm not going to be here at the normal time.
You know, we can.
I'll
You can
still-
just come and just
I'll
go
be all right,
to
man.
church.
I'll be all right. It's all right. It's all right, Andy. You have to look
He doesn't
out
want
for
to
me.
use a vacation day if he's exerting that much effort in the
It's
morning.
too late. He's already it's already off.
I already used it.
So
Oh, you
might as-
did?
Or it's
Oh.
off. I don't know how that stuff works.
I just knew because
I'm just kidding. I
Tammy
couldn't come
said
here
in
and
the email
not
you
do
were off
anything
on the
either.
second.
It was enough for me to sit in the back and the soundboard last week and just watch everything happening. I felt like I was neglecting something, even though I felt
sounded good.
I felt like it sounded good. Online, I thought it
Online was
sounded
good.
good. You know. Anyway, I could have probably kept your microphone off. Just kidding. You're
Greg
funny.
was blazing
Probably.
on Sunday.
He was on fire, just murdering. That like comedians would say, murdering at the
Murdering.
10:45,
Killing it. That was
10:30
fun.
service. Yeah.
I did notice, like your jokes, and this is pretty typical, right? Like you had a funny one in the first hour about the continental breakfast, about what continent was this from?
Yeah.
And
That's
it was like a
really good.
3-step association, and then you had kind of your payoff of like, well, they don't like bacon, you know. When you got to that,
yeah.
then in the second
too
hour,
sophisticated.
In the second hour, you didn't make all the connections. You just said like, "What continent are they from? Do they not like bacon?" But you didn't. And I was like, "This is a classic comedian thing where it wasn't planned."
It was joke writing, like workshopping.
And it didn't
right in
land the
minute.
same way as the first one where it was
Right.
like fresh, you know? So,
I was just talking. I don't
but then your
He had
material,
no
like,
idea.
you're like,
idea
hey,
what
I got
he
my,
was
that's my first amen I ever got. And you're like, that was funny.
Yeah, it was.
Which I don't think it's true.
It was funny. Yeah, see?
It wasn't just a joke. That was not a joke.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah.
Schlepping the table.
But he's a charismatic Lutheran.
Oh, that's right.
So,
That's right.
Well, I grew up in that area too, so
No, I don't.
You're probably more of a charismatic Lutheran than I am.
I don't know.
You grew up at Vision of Glory.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up.
You just sing that every
Mariah
time.
Carey, man.
Every
Vision of
time we
Love.
say it.
Every time. That's all I hear. I'm also still trying to get that Beyonce song out of my head. It's still going right now.
I can get it out of your head, but you're going to be mad at me for how I do it. So,
Now I'm
Is it
intrigued.
painful?
yeah, it's the worst.
What?
You've got young kids. What's the worst song that your kids could sing to you?
I don't know. Because I play my music in the car.
Do they
So
make you play
can-
Baby Shark ever?
It's been a while.
That gets stuck.
Yeah, it does.
And it's real
That's
bad.
A horrible song.
Yep.
It does get stuck.
Just sing that. That'll make all the Beyonces go away.
Yeah.
You know
I'd
what's so
rather
funny
I'd
is-
rather sing the Beyonce song.
Way before that became super popular, I actually was, at Northern Pines when you're out at where the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. I don't know if I can even say it anymore.
Is this the old camp?
The old
The
camp.
village. It's called the village.
The village. When you're out at the village and you're walking back from the main campus back to the village,
that
you
gravel trail.
you always sing songs.
Wadaliacha.
Yep, Wadaliacha or I love the village.
I love the village. I like that. I can climb.
Or
Yeah, yeah.
other, like I Met a Bear. We would sing Baby Shark.
Really?
Yeah.
Before it was a thing.
Before it was a thing, we go all the way to Grandpa Shark.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'd
Well,
do all that stuff.
I didn't know that was an old song. I thought it.
Someone
I had
just
no
covered
idea where
it.
it came from.
They
And
just
then they
covered it.
changed the rhythm of it. They changed Baby Shark, do, 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 Baby Shark, do. They cut off, if you notice, it's not like a full
you would analyze this.
measure. Right. It's like a 4-4-3-4.
Yeah, that
was-
won't play in church, will it?
Right.
I
No.
was thinking of that song the other day though, watching Ted Lasso because Jamie Tart. Did
Jamie
they do
Tart,
it?
yeah.
Jamie
See,
Tart.
now you don't have Beyonce.
Yeah.
Vision of Glory.
Kids,
So-
I didn't talk about my kids.
Yes, tell us about your children.
My kids.
Yeah.
You asked me which one was funniest, Isaiah. We got 3 kids. Caleb is 7. He'll be 8 in May, 2nd grader. And Caleb loves inflatables, like the yard inflatables for holidays.
Oh, yeah.
And he's a little engineer, so he likes to take things apart, fix motors. We've actually had a few things wired together, and there's been smoke. So we've been learning about safety and having
He will love
grown up
Mark
with him.
Rober. Seriously, the YouTube guy. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's an engineer and he does all that stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That's him. Like we were that house in the neighborhood with all the blow-ups, and
Sweet.
we have a policy we buy. Well, we get them like on the marketplace, or the buy nothing groups, or clearance. Lowe's will go 75%, and then eventually they'll hit 90%. And
90% off.
yeah, then you're getting deals. So we've got
Wait, for what? What's 90% off?
the yard inflatables.
Oh, okay.
So we've got a pretty good sized fleet for couple for fall, and a bunch for Christmas.
Nice.
He loves that stuff. And my daughter Hannah is 5, and she is a very determined young lady. She's a spitfire. So a lot of fun. And she likes, it sounds stereotypical, but she just loves pink and dancing. And she likes sports just because she's competitive with her brothers. And so if Isaiah is into something, she tries to be into it and more into it or better at it than him just because she likes to put her brother in his place. But yeah, her problem is going to be she's fierce and feisty, but both her brothers are going to be much bigger than her. And there's going to come a day where her fierceness toward them is going to hit her back. And I'm going to be like, you had it coming. It's been building for years. So anyways, she's great. She's a lot of fun. And then Isaiah is our 3.5-year-old, and he loves sports and scoopers, like tractor scoopers.
Yes.
And he's kind of a daddy's boy. Hannah's a mommy's girl. I said that the umbilical cord still hasn't been cut yet on that one. It's kind of how it is. Yeah, true story. She never, her first, like, honestly, handful of months of life, like, did not let me hold her. She would just scream. She was bottle fed. Like, she wouldn't eat, just was mad at me just because I wasn't mama.
I was watching
This
you
all sounds
when you picked
very
her up
familiar.
at the second service. You picked her up,
Yeah.
and the whole time she's like
Squirming.
and then you finally put her down.
Yeah, I was like, forget this. I think it was during the prayer. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it was during the prayer or
Yeah.
not, but it was whatever. You had her, like, you were holding her for
tried.
like a minute and a half, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
This is funny. This all sounds very familiar.
And
It's
then
like how the dynamic of our 3.
you're 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Riley's the youngest for you.
Yeah, but she's the most determined, very competitive, and once she thinks she could do anything her brothers can do, and wants to be in the mix. Yeah, I will say though, what you were saying, how her brothers are going to be bigger, is like, the bear is still afraid of the Wolverine, right?
Yeah.
Like,
She's got claws, man.
Yeah.
She does. She does. Yeah.
What
so
else?
those are the 3. Did I miss anything with that? I don't think so.
anything else?
Well, Liza,
No. We got a dog.
talk about Liza.
Oh,
for a sec.
Liza? Yeah. Liza, we met. She was working at New Hope in youth ministry, and I got invited to lead worship on a retreat. And it took me a year to figure it out, just about. But she knew right away. We didn't date long. You know what? We were engaged for, I think it was 11 weeks from our engagement to wedding. We dated, short time. But she,
Longer
11
than
weeks?
Ben and
Yeah.
Terry.
they had a short.
I think they were engaged. They were dating for like a month before they got engaged.
Really?
Something really short like that. Yeah.
We started dating end of August and we got engaged in November. So similar. We talked to them when we were engaged. They were helpful.
Yeah. I'm sure Ben was like, "Hey, if you think it's right, do it. Just get it.
Yeah.
Just do it."
Get her done.
Yeah, it was different because we were both, we were both working and living on our own and out of school for several years. I was, done with seminary.
Yeah.
It's different. You're not ever done growing, but like you're more established in who you are and
Yeah.
what matters to you. So
You kind of know, and like if the other person is, if they're compatible, if they're, yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so Liza, she loves a good book, sunshine and water, and that usually equals a vacation
Nice.
in the summer.
I'm all about that.
Sitting by a pool or on the boat. Yeah.
This might be an uncomfortable question to answer, but you've been now at Northridge for
2 weeks.
2 weeks, technically just one weekend, right?
Yeah, we came the first weekend.
You just were
Unofficial.
visiting, yeah.
So who's your favorite person?
No, I was gonna say, what have you?
Who's your least favorite?
That's good. That's your boss. Your initial impressions of 2 weeks spending time around Northridge.
Now Paul is dead. What? Uh-oh. You're in trouble. What'd you say?
What?
We all missed it.
I'm dead. Oh, my mic is dead.
Oh. I thought it was something you said about Liza. I'm like, what did we miss? Man. Did you guys hear who he said was his favorite person at Northridge?
Or all the nice things he said about
Or all the
Liza.
nice things he said about you, Liza? He said some really nice things.
Yeah, I should have checked those. Check those.
He said a few bad
We're
things
back.
too, but hopefully his mic was off by then.
We're back. I don't know. You asked me my favorite person at Northridge. I said Ben.
No, I didn't say
the right
that.
answer.
That was Greg's question.
Greg asked
I
that.
asked you just your initial impression.
My impression.
Why is that uncomfortable?
I don't know.
Uncomfortable. He said this might be uncomfortable, so let's make it
My
uncomfortable.
impressions? Why is that uncomfortable?
Yeah.
I'll give you some observations and then impressions. Like observations, there were. It was really fun to meet people Sunday. There were, I wouldn't say a lot, but maybe 10 or 15 if you consider that a lot. So several people at least that I met or saw again that like I knew from other chapters of life that landed here. And one of the observations that I had was in talking to people, I didn't like ask like, why do you like Northridge or why are you here? But people just readily shared how excited they are about what God is doing and just the strength of kind of the fabric of the community and the mission and, Ben and Terry's leadership, the staff team, like all those are things that people just talked about like naturally. And so impression or observation is just there really seems to be a just great affection for this place and what God is doing. And like, honestly, for someone new coming in, that's really compelling, because, you can tell if it's the opposite, right? If people are there, if it's like obligatory or they're kind of like half in, half out or skeptical of things. Like, didn't pick up on any of that. It was really, really cool. So that's an impression. Yeah, they've got a great worship pastor. No.
That's not what I was fishing. I wasn't fishing for anything. I just was curious because it's hard. It's just like we talk about this all the time on our Wednesday evaluation meetings. Like, what would it feel like for a non-church Christian person to come into our building? We cannot answer or have any sense of what that would be like because it's been so long since since we've ever
You
been
only
in
get
their
that
shoes
once.
before.
Yeah.
So to hear somebody share their impressions of Northridge that never, you've watched it online, but no, like such a different experience being in the building.
Yeah, a week ago Sunday was our first day here.
Yeah.
And that it was warm and inviting. Our kids were eager to go to our new church together, but I also wanted, if we could, a chance just to come before most people really knew who we were. So we ran into a number of folks that we know and connected with that first Sunday, but a lot of the folks from Northridge didn't know who I was. And so we just came and checked our kids in and chatted and kind of watched things and had to the nice people sitting on this side of the room, there wasn't room to sit anywhere. So I had to nudge them and they moved in a few seats to give us a spot to sit. Those are first time experiences that you'll not be able to reproduce them. So it's fun.
So explain a little bit. I think most people know that Terry is having, for mainly health reasons, having to step down. But what is going to be kind of your focus and target of what you're going to be responsible for here?
That's a really good question. It's, in terms of a footprint, if you were to ask Terry what she did, I think she would kind of go, well, it's kind of whatever is needed. And she fills in the gaps. And on paper, it's probably 70, 75% of the footprint of what Terry did that will be what I am responsible for. And then some just distinctives that fit, the new role that I'm stepping into and kind of my gifts and what they see. And so I, like, generally speaking, from a vision standpoint, like, love God, love each other, make a difference. I know it. I'm learning it. I'm living it. That second dimension of it, like, I get to work most closely with the staff team who actualize that. So, like, Greg and Jackie and Brax, they obviously, like, lead their areas. I just am there to encourage and support. And if there's, feedback or guidance, if I need to bulldoze, boulders out of the way or step on landmines or, whatever I can do. With that kind of dimension, the ministry is just to help keep, because it seems like there really is, keep a kind of cohesive focus on that. And then the more traditional, like, executive pastor functions, so finance and HR, the operational side, like with the facilities and capital project stuff, kind of the bigger things. So think like additions, and we got parking lot coming up, which nobody wants to be passionate about, but I don't know. You could maybe go fishing in a few of the potholes out there right now.
Yeah.
So those kinds of things. And then kind of I don't say it's all new. Like, part of this Terry did just by proximity to Ben, like them working together for 23 years and obviously, well, being married, but we'll be coming alongside Pastor Ben with providing kind of the strategic perspective to the vision and the ministry and where we're at. That's kind of one of my wirings. So helping actualize and bring things to bear. And then with that will be a role with you, Andy, and Ben, helping out wherever I can with the worship services and preaching regularly. And so that's like the on paper stuff. And it's just, whatever we need to do, which has been really cool to see. Like, the staff just rolls up their sleeves and we just do stuff. So that'll be fun.
Well, we're really excited to have you. I think we all think our staff is pretty awesome, and we, couldn't. When Terry first told everybody. Now, and the problem is, I had a little bit of foreshadowing because I was told a little earlier than the rest of the staff, because I was part of a overseer gathering that we were talking about it. So Terry wanted to tell me. But I think when we first started learning about who you are, and kind of they all met you, and it just seems like it's been such a natural process to add, to have you part of this team. And some harder than others, but I think for the most part it's been just such a pretty easy. I don't know if that's the right word.
It's been natural. Like, I wouldn't say easy. Like,
right. Natural. I just don't want to reuse
yeah,
that word.
Yeah.
It just feels very natural. Feels right.
Yeah. There's bumps, like, for us to leave a place, like, that's hard, but yet we're excited. And even, like, I was just talking to, some folks on the team the other day, like, I'm super cognizant of the fact that, like, Terry's, like Ben has said, she's awesome. And she's beloved, and she's stepping away in a time when, like, nobody wants her to. She doesn't, I mean, she feels released, so in that sense, like, she wants to, but, like, this is a founder who's amazing and who's beloved, like, and I'm not coming in like, it's my baby. No, like, it feels, in a sense, like, I don't know if this is the right word, but, like, sacred, like, this role and the team. And so I'm coming in, like, with it feels honoring. Like, I feel honored that I'm entrusted with that, in a sense. That may sound kind of weird, but it's really cool. And, like, and that's just, like, this season.
If you didn't say it that way, I would be more concerned.
Okay. Yeah, and because to go back to, like, your question before about, like, career and stuff, like, when it isn't like, oh, this job looks good on paper, this is a good fit, like, well, there are those things that, like, do make sense on paper, but to see how Ben and Terry shared kind of their own, each of them, their journey to pray and consider about the timing for her and then what to do and how that intersected with, for me and my wife Liza, and even some of the people that are around us that were just praying for us and advocating for us. Like God's fingerprints are just all over so much of that it does. I think it makes a transition that is big for, I think, everybody, for the church, for Terry, for us. It gives an ease to it because like there's just this underlying confidence of like, well, God is calling this. So if he's calling it, like, let's do it and we'll figure it out. Even if we don't have all the blanks filled in. Yeah. It really is, it's exciting. And not just in the like, oh, this is easy and just make it happen. So, yeah.
Greg, you have any questions you want to ask, or you good?
Good.
You're very quiet today.
I know. I'm tried to interrupt a few times. I get cut down. Or you give me a dead battery, a microphone, and then try the trick on Paul, too. No.
Awesome. Well,
No, I feel like
so yes, you
I
do
know.
have stuff
I've
to
known
say.
Paul. Like, we've known Paul for many years because we worked together at a church previously in 08 or 09
How long?
technically.
How long did you
Like
guys
4
overlap?
months.
4 months.
Or
Yeah,
something like
March
that.
to June or
Yeah, I
February to
think we
June.
figured
February
out
to June.
It was June, yeah. So,
Basically when I got married.
Yeah.
I went to the hockey tournament.
right.
Yeah.
And then, then Paul went full time at New Hope, but we stayed in contact here and there throughout the years. So,
You were always the first one to wish me a happy anniversary.
yeah. Their anniversary is the day before mine and Jordan's. So I always say, I know when I see something, if
So
About
He
Paul's
reminds
that's a
me.
good
anniversary?
reminder for you.
He's like,
Yeah,
hey,
then
dude,
I'm like,
happy
yes.
anniversary, or don't forget your anniversary.
I've never forgotten. That's one date that I've nailed.
I haven't
so.
either, thanks to you.
I do say like, hey, don't forget your anniversary on the 17th. Yeah. And then some mutual friends too that their birthdays May 4th, they're brothers, and one's May 4th, the other one's May 5th. Like always, for some reason, I text them like, well, one's name is Jay, and it's May 5th, and I say Happy Cinco de Mayo for Cinco de Mayo. Never mind. No, I've known Paul for a while, and he's a good dude. So I knew, like, I've been telling people, like, once it was announced, like, he's coming, I'm like, yeah, he'll fit in great. Like, Paul's awesome. He feels like he'd be a Northridge guy. Like, he's going to fit in. It's going to be perfect. So I knew all the answers all the questions that you asked.
Did you know the
Like,
bands?
I knew all his favorite bands. I didn't.
You knew my favorite kid? I mean,
Yeah,
funniest
favorite
kid?
The best answer to that question was, I don't know if you heard, what was the conference we did, the simulcast a couple weeks ago? The one we all watched here in
Exponential.
Oh, the church planning one.
Did you watch some of that?
No.
Okay, so Exponential, it was a great segment. The guy that was like the MC, the kind of funny guy, he had this thing called Big Conversations in Small Spaces or something. And he just had like this booth set up and a camera, and like Derwin Gray was in there, and it was like uncomfortably close, and they were talking, and it was supposed to be funny, but then he asked
Was it
some
funny?
serious questions. No, I mean intentionally. It was, some of the questions were intentionally funny, but then he'd ask some, not funny questions. But he asked like, how many kids you have? He says 2. Which one's your favorite? And Derwin Gray gave the best answer. He was honest, and he said which kid was his favorite. Just kidding. No, he goes, I don't have a favorite, but I will say this: the kid that is most like you is easiest to love, and the one that is the least like you teaches you how to love. I was like, dang, man,
That's
that's
good. That's
really
good.
that was really good on the spot.
Whoa.
I feel like
You
that
must
was
have said that
prepared.
before.
I know, or
Right.
he heard it. Someone else said
That's
because I was
good.
saying it. And it's so true, though. The only caveat to that is like the ones that are most like you, if they do something that you don't like in yourself and you see it, it's annoying.
yeah.
You butt
right?
heads probably
yeah.
more.
You're like, oh, stop doing that. Don't do that. Don't. Because it's like you wish you didn't.
So does that apply to like what you were texting me last night with one of yours? that that one teaches you how to love?
Oh.
Because it's because when you text me that you were needing to spend extra time with them because it was a Wednesday night and you know,
Yeah.
it's probably not the way you wanted to spend your Wednesday night, but it just, I see that in people like you, and
No, it's just kids are all different.
Inspiring though.
Like, you.
As somebody who's not a dad who's always wanted to be dad, probably more than wanted to get married.
Mm-hmm.
As I just
You could go get a kid somewhere.
just go get one.
Yeah.
I just think that stuff is so cool, and
Yeah.
it just it teaches me, like, in the event that I ever get a chance to be a dad, like, man, that's inspiring.
Okay, so I had Andy draft my fantasy draft for me last night because I was like, I don't know if it was at 9:00, and after Kids Quest and Youth and stuff getting home, kids
He's trying to
like
use improper
getting-
nouns, like, I didn't want to.
getting bathed and stuff. Oh, it's all right. And Evan, our middle guy, he's got sleep issues already, ADHD, gets overstimulated. Nighttime's hard. So he was just, after a quest, sometimes it's just overstimulated. It's just hard for his brain to calm down. So, no, that's what, he was in the middle of my draft, and I think you were saying something about, a player or something. I'm like, I forgot what I said, but I was like, yeah, I'm just having to I'm still with Evan. It was almost 10:00.
Yeah.
Like, spending extra time. He just has a hard time. His brain doesn't allow his body to go to sleep very easily.
Now,
So.
do you feel like, going back to that one guy's quote about the one who you're most
Yeah.
like is easiest to love, the one who's the least
Yeah.
like you teaches you how to love?
Yeah,
Where do you think Evan is on that?
It's funny because I love that answer. I love that quote, and I know exactly what he's saying, but at the same time, I don't get that. Like, so Evan is.
I would almost say
He's
Asher's
hard.
right.
Asher's probably the most like me in
Okay.
most ways.
Okay.
I think temperament and that, but Evan's that kid that I always say, like, when he's not yours, he's hilarious, but when he's yours, he's frustrating. You have one. And you're like kind of almost like embarrassed, like, don't, not here. And everyone else is like, oh my gosh, he's hilarious. So it's so
I
funny.
think say it's endearing.
But
but it's also naughty.
Yeah, sometimes there's certain things that we
or
can't
it's
do.
just, not the right place.
I will say, what I always say about Evan is I think I am jealous at how he gets to live life, because he, in the best sense, he does not care what people think about him. Like, if he knows that he's hurt someone physically or just, with words or whatever, he takes that really hard, and he's really remorseful, and he feels really bad. But so it's not in the sense like he doesn't care what people think, but he will live life the way he wants to live life. Like, for example, he's in middle school now, and I drop him off every morning, and he gets out of the car. He's like, okay, see you, Dad, love you. Slams the door shut, and like peeks back in the window and does like this little dance thing. Like, he calls it his jig. I'll have him do it. I don't know what it is. It's so hilarious to me to watch him do it, but he'll do and he's got like little stuffed animal things hanging off his backpack, and I'm like, and here's I'm watching these other like 7th and 8th graders that are trying to be cool, but they're not. We all know you're in middle school, you're not cool. The coolest kid in middle school is so awkward. But they're trying really hard to like not bring attention to themselves. Evan doesn't care. Like, he's just going to do what he's going to do. And I think he approaches all of life that way. We always say he's somehow extremely complicated and extremely simple at the same time. Like, if he has what he wants, the way he wants it, he's the easiest child in the world.
Yeah.
The problem is usually that means on the couch watching YouTube or a TV and having the snack, and so that's when parenting comes in. Like, time limit, buddy, or you need to eat something healthy. But I wouldn't say he's the most unlike me, because there's a lot of things I see in him that like are very similar. But he has probably taught us how to love more in many ways, not just out of like because he's so much different, but everything that kid does is big, and including love. Like, he loves us in a big way, like, and it's genuine. And I don't know. He's a hard kid to raise, but also easy. He's easy to love and easy to get mad at, but easy to forgive and hilarious. And I got to pick him up in a few minutes. So,
All right. Well, that was good. You're getting emotional.
I was rambling. I'll get emotional
fine.
eventually if I start talking about my kids too long.
This way,
Which I never used to. I never cried until I had a daughter. Then all of a sudden, I got like emotional hormones in the house. So if we want to talk about emotional, we'll talk about Riley.
Next
well,
time.
this is just the beginning. He's
Yeah.
going to be around for a while, so if you get a chance, just introduce yourself. I know he would, just speaking for him, I know he would love to meet you and get to know you, to know how he can love and serve each and every one of you.
And tell me your name again if we met last week.
Right.
I told him about Jerry
Help me
Hickman.
out.
600 some names.
When I
I'll do
first
my
got
best.
here, Jerry Hickman came up to me after service one week. He's like, "Do you remember my name?" And I go, I took a guess. He goes, "I told you 3 times."
Yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yes, just help me out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remind me your name. Or I'll just say, can you remind me your name?
Yeah. That'd
Yeah.
be good. Real quick, we'll just let
Big
you know.
week.
Yes. There's only really one idea of announcements that we should talk
I'm going to
about.
pull Mike Stella and bow out.
That's good. Yep. See you, Greg.
Got to go pick up.
We have this Sunday
Twins.
is the beginning of Holy Week, but before Sunday, on Saturday, we have our Easter egg extravaganza from 9:30 to 11 here in the whole building. It's for families and kids. Not
Indoor during the snowstorm.
indoor. Is it supposed to snow this?
I don't know.
Gross.
They
It's supposed
say
to snow today.
10 to 12 inches, but then they say 2 to 3 inches north and west.
I heard
metro,
it's supposed to
so
snow today.
There's anywhere from 2 to 18 feet of snow.
2 to 18 feet, according to
gross.
the meteorologist Greg Tizer.
There's still time to sign up. I don't know what the cutoff date is, but I'm sure you can still sign up. And then, as well as if you're interested in helping, they still need candy-filled eggs, donations, and stuff like that. So if you go to our website, click on the events tab, right at the top, you'll see all the stuff about Easter extravaganza, whether you want to come, sign your friends or neighbors up, or you want to help. On the right-hand side, you'll see that. And then that Sunday, the 2nd, April 2nd, is Palm Sunday. And so we'll be kicking off Holy Week with that. So come and start the march towards the cross with us on Sunday. Thursday, Last Supper service. We're going to be in the great room. Greg is going to be leading us in a night coming around the Lord's Supper.
I'm excited for that.
Communion,
I haven't been a part of a church that does that.
Community.
It's really cool.
It's not your typical, like if you grew up in a Lutheran church or in a traditional church, Maundy, Thursday, that might ring a bell, but it's not like that. It's not like a Seder meal. It's just a unique way, more of an interactive community relationships together celebrating the Lord's Supper. That's only one service, 7 o'clock. It'll be in the great room. Friday is our Good Friday service. We have 2 of them, same service, 5:30 and 7, and he will be doing the sermon for Good Friday. And
Yeah,
we got
excited about
something
it.
we think is pretty powerful, and so you don't want to miss that. And yeah, you could
5:30 and 7.
5:30 and 7
Yep.
o'clock. Yeah, you can watch online, but it won't be the same because we're going to be doing something that's a little bit interactive as well in that service. And so it'd be really cool to see here in the building at 5:30 or 7 o'clock. Sunday, our Easter sunrise service.
Marathon day.
At 6:30. Brax is going to be leading us in that one in the great room. And
It's snowing right now, according to Greg.
gross.
Spitting.
6:30.
Sort of.
Brax. We won't be doing baptisms like we had done probably for the last 7 years in the great room, but we will
Instead,
we would have we'll have a continental breakfast following the sunrise service, which would probably take place relatively around 7:15ish. So you could come for the service, stay for the continental breakfast, and then stay for the early service for our Easter main services here in the worship center, 8, 9:15, and 10:45, and that's when we'll be doing the baptisms. We got baptisms at all 3 services, a couple people at each or whatever, and that'll be up if you're facing the stage, on the left-hand side. And if you're interested in being baptized, if you're a follower of Jesus and you haven't yet declared that through the act of baptism, I want to encourage you to do that. Here's your first opportunity to do that. This Easter, we also have in June, beginning of June, which is our Celebration Sunday weekend picnic, and then we do baptisms out at the lake. That's another opportunity for you to be baptized. But if you know you want to do it, don't wait. Let's just do it. Let's celebrate here together this Easter. Talk to one of the pastors, and would love to celebrate with you.
And for Easter, man, if you've got any flexibility in your schedule, we'd encourage you to come to the 8 o'clock.
Yep.
We're going to have the youth room available as an overflow venue, but we want to make as much space in this main room as we can for guests and neighbors to come on Easter Sunday. So if you've got flexibility, come at 8 o'clock. And then if I can throw in this, like, park across the street at the school. I have signs and people directing out there. But that's just another way that if you're a regular at Northridge, we can serve the guests and neighbors that are going to come on Easter Sunday by coming at 8 and parking across the street, would just give space for them to be able to come and
Here's another one
experience
up
it.
on you. If you're a regular Northridge, come in and sit up in the front.
There you go.
Sit up in the front towards the middle. That way, guests and people who are coming in late can get the seats in the back.
Fill
They don't
in
have
all
to
the empty seats.
Crawl over anybody to get it. So park across the street or park in the back. Sit in the front. That'd be the best way we can serve guests and friends and families of people here at Northridge coming for Easter, because we really do want to create a welcoming, warm environment. Even though it sounds like it's going to be snowing, gross.
Nah.
Nah, you don't believe it?
I don't know. I don't think we're getting a foot of snow tomorrow night.
A foot of snow.
I don't know.
But that's Easter. That's Holy Week. That's all that we really need to be talking about right now. Yeah, there's going to be stuff happening after Easter. We're going to be doing a series on perseverance after Holy Week. But we'll talk more about that another time. If you have any questions about any of this stuff,
Ask Greg.
Email us at office@nrf.life or call us. Whatever is easiest, go to the website. You can click on any of the staff and get an email to any of us. Introduce yourself to Paul. But let's celebrate this Holy Week and Easter season together with joy and with gratitude of what Jesus has done with us. So glad you're here with us, and hope to see you this weekend.
Yeah. Go Twins.
Go Twins. Yes, 3 o'clock, playing in Kansas City, where it won't be